Wife, Courtney and I, we got four kiddos, all right? Four kiddos, and our youngest is 10 months old. And so, if you were to rewind back about a year and a half ago, we were finding out that we were pregnant, and we were obviously Courtney and I were super excited, but we were having to tell the other siblings. And at that time, the siblings were 8, 6, and 3, right? And they're all boys, okay? So we were excited to tell them, and but I heard from other parents like this can go a couple different ways, you know. I mean, there's nothing like telling other siblings saying, "Oh, you're excited about something? It's going to take you away from mommy and daddy just for that much more," you know. Like, so we get up, we get them all together, and we tell them, "Hey guys, we're so excited! You're going to be big brothers. This is very exciting. Hope you are too." And they were amped. They were like, "Oh, Mom, Dad, this is the best news. We've been hoping for this. I mean, this is so special. We can't wait. We just don't need any more boys in our family, though." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." So I was like, "Well, honey, I'll take care of this. I got this. You know, I'm the dad here. I got this." So a couple days later, we're driving, and my oldest boy, 8 years old, I go, "Hey man, so how you feeling about being a big brother?" "Oh, Dad, I'm really excited. Like, I really am excited about it. I just don't need another brother. I got 2 of them. You know, I don't need any more, you know?" And so I go to the 6-year-old, and I said, "Hey man, how you feeling?" And he intellectualizes it. He's like, "Here's the deal, Dad. So there's 3 boys, there's you, there's only 1 girl in the family. Mom is lonely. Mom needs a girl." And I was like, 6 years old, huh? All right. I go to the 3-year-old, and look, this kid can barely speak English at this point, so I'm like, I like my chances here. I go to the 3-year-old, I'm like, "Hey man, how you feeling about being a big brother?" He's like, "Dad, I for the first time, big boy, me, you know, that's what's up." And he goes, but with like puppy dog eyes, he looks at me and he goes, "I want a sister." And so at this point, I'm like, well, you guys understand how this works, right, kids? I mean, you understand how this works. Mom and Dad don't understand it. And I was like, no, they don't understand how this works yet. You know, they're not there. So I was thinking to myself, you know, I think, like, what are the odds? If you have 3 of the same gender, what are the odds that you can actually possibly have something else? And so I did something that was very, very wise, very, very wise. I Googled it. And I get on Google, I type in, what are the odds? And type out the whole thing, and I kid you not, I look at it and it's like 8% chance of a different. I'm like, you know what, Google, you've been full of lies. I don't believe you anyway. And so the day comes to when we find out the gender, and we're big into celebrations in our household, big into celebrations. So we go and we get a cake, you know, if it's pink inside, it's a girl, you know, blue, you guys know the drill, right? So we bring it home, and look, at this point, the kids just can barely contain their excitement. Well, I hope it's excitement, because if it could be disappointment and, you know, terribleness. But anyway, we get there, and I mean, if there was ever a need for a fidget spinner, it was my oldest boy. He was like, "When can we cut the cake? I want to cut the cake. Where's the cake? I need the cake." And so we give him a knife instead. He gets the knife, and look, I've never been a big fan of pink, but I was in that moment. He cuts that cake, and it was pink inside. It was pink. We got our sweet Evie. Joy is her name. But I do have to add one thing that was kind of humorous. I hope there's some humor in this as well. But I had all these people coming to me like, "This is a miracle that you could have a girl. This is fantastic." And as soon as Evie came into the world, she was like 3 weeks old, and people were coming up to me and they're like, "It's just so different having a little girl, isn't it?" And I was like, "At 3 weeks old? Not a whole lot different yet. No, it's not a whole lot. I gotta put a bow on her head for people to know that she's a girl, you know?" But it's a joy. I love being a husband. I love being a dad. It's one of my great privileges of life, truthfully. I absolutely love it. But I think it's fair to say, oh, you guys like families here. I like you, Texans. I like you. But I do think it's fair to say, particularly for parents, you know, the last year and a half, 2 years, I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's been forever. It's been a little bumpy, you know. My parents became homeschool parents that didn't want to, you know. Then a little bit more serious, there were people that lost jobs. Then it got even more serious than that. Obviously, we've been dealing with a pandemic. And I think it's fair to say it's been bumpy, right? You guys agree? It's been a little bumpy. And for me, my personal bump through the pandemic came actually about 5-6 months ago, and I had to have throat surgery. And I felt really good about the surgery. I'd been told that this could be something that was in the books about a year ago, that they were concerned about a few things, and so I was prepared for it. And so I started going to some of my friends and saying, "Hey, you know, the surgery date has been booked. You know, this is the date. Would you guys pray for me?" And they were like, "Absolutely, we'll pray for you." And you know, and they started saying things like, "You know, but Luke, you don't understand. Like with this surgery, there are some risks involved. You know, if they make a mistake, it could mess up your voice and you may not be able to sing. And at first I said, well, thank you, you're a terrible friend, but yes, that's true. And they were telling the truth. I mean, with any surgeries, we all know there's risks, but this one particularly, you're dealing with some tight quarters and there were some risks involved. I go through with the surgery, felt good about it, and I wake up, and the only issue with this surgery is once you wake up, you can't talk for 5 days. And so you don't really know for 5 days. And it was about day 2 or 3 that all those kind of thoughts and the wondering, the worrying that had taken place with some of those conversations started to come in. You know, what if I can't sing anymore? You know, what if I can't write songs and do something that I'd love to do with my brother and with so many friends up here? You know, what if I can't do something I feel called to do? And if I can't communicate like I am here tonight? And I got even a little bit more serious. Then it got to the point of me asking, like, God, do I actually need it now? I mean, is this my identity now? Is this who I am? And if I'm not doing something that I feel like is worthwhile, do I feel loved? Do I feel cared for? Do I feel worth it? And look, when you start praying those prayers, when you can't talk, you know, you hear God in unique ways. And I felt God really clearly say to me, man, look, it's never been about a song. It's never been about a voice. It's never been about ability. It's never been about failure. It's never been about success. It's about the very fact that I love you. I love you. I love you. And look, I don't know the journeys that you guys are all independently walking through. You know, maybe tonight you would say, man, my marriage is really, really struggling. My family life is really difficult. I don't feel loved. Maybe you'd say to me, man, I bought tickets to the event for a few people that actually aren't even here with me anymore. And I'm broken. Maybe tonight you would say, somebody else would say, hey, you know what, the last 2 years I've been crazy successful, but I'm empty. And I don't know what to do with it. But we all know you gotta do something. One of the things that I know about life that I've learned as I just get a little bit older is that every single one of us are craving this deep, deep love that only God truly understands.